Welcome, both of you, to the Team Rhino call for June 18th. We were going to talk about how to make money this week. And we do have a webinar in about 25 minutes, so we're going to make this quick. But I want people to kind of understand, what are the things that really help increase income in this business opportunity. And so we're going to talk about those particular things, and we're going to keep it pretty simple. So this isn't going to be super profound, but for some of you, it may be a new concept of what the real way to make money in this business is. The number one thing, actually, you know what, let's just have a little recognition first, because I think it's important to recognize Taylor, who is going to be on our business webinar tonight for rank advancing to diamond. And you're going to hear some of that story tonight on the webinar. But I was talking to her today, and she really is one of the ones who really took hold of the It Starts with Diamond group that everybody paid $20 to get into. And she's going to get a $300 check from me. She's going to get probably somewhere between $500 and $700 from the It Starts with Diamond group. She's also going to get a Month of Diamonds t-shirt from Carl Deichler, because this is the month of diamonds. She's getting a lot of things for jumping in on that whole thing. And I was talking to her, and when I talk to her on the phone every week, we have a weekly call. When I talk to her, she mentions a lot of things out of that group, like she's actually following it and listening to every video and taking it in and making it a serious part of her day. And I was just really inspired by that, that she said, oh, I'm going to do this It Starts with Diamond group. And she pushed and she did it and she made diamond and she got all this stuff, out of it. So I want to congratulate her for that, not take anything away from any of the rest of you who are in that group and say, oh, you failed or anything like that, because it doesn't mean that you necessarily did. You could be 2 weeks from going diamond, or you could be, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you failed. But I was really inspired by the way that when I talked to her, I know that she took in every piece of information she probably could, and then she went and also applied those pieces of information that she got. So, congratulations to Taylor for taking that on and making diamond. But let's jump into how to make money. One of the best ways to make money is to go diamond. No, I'm kidding. Actually, that does help. Okay, so going diamond, you take your cycle bonus volume, or your bonus volume, cycle volume bonuses from $14 per cycle to $18 per cycle, right? So what that means basically is, with the same amount of sales volume below you in the organization, you are getting $4 more per cycle. So if you had, let's take an example. If you had 1,000 points of volume on one leg and you had 500 points of volume on the other leg, per the way cycles work, you would get 5 cycles at $14 a piece if you were an emerald for that week. If you were a diamond, you get 5 cycles at $18 a piece. So 5 times 18 versus 5 times 14. So just making the rank of diamond, you get $4 more per cycle, which means you make $20 more just from the rank right there. And you take that and multiply it out, where someone has, is on a strong leg and has 20, 30, 40,000 on one leg and 5, 10, 15,000 on the other leg. And it starts to become very significant week to week, the $4 difference in each cycle. Okay, so that does make a difference. But the main things that help you make money in this business, retailing is great. Getting your 25% commission is great. But what really helps you make a full-time income from this is sales volume below you from your team. And you have to build a team in order to do that. Okay, so making money is about building a team. But you can't just build a team. If you're an amazing recruiter, which some of you are like, I'm not an amazing recruiter even, but if you are an amazing recruiter and you can sign up coach after coach after coach, the next step, and this is something to write down, the most important thing is being able to duplicate what it is that you're doing to be an amazing recruiter to your downline. So if you can sign up a whole bunch of people, but you can't help them sign up people, then, or show them how you're signing people up, then it's not going to run away from you to the point where you're making the good income. Okay, so duplication and being able to take what you're doing and show it to your downline so that they know how to do what you're doing is so important. One of the rules of network marketing in general is that it doesn't matter what works, it matters what duplicates. That is one of the rules of network marketing. All that means is if you've got some crazy, fancy algorithm thing that you've created on the internet that pulls people in and signs them up, if you can't duplicate that algorithm so they can pull people in and sign them up, then it's not going to be the thing that makes your business really grow. Okay. Now, if it's crazy where you can sign up, 50 people a day, then, maybe you'll make a lot of money. But if you can't help those other people do the same thing, it will always be relying on you and what you do rather than on teaching other people to become leaders and letting the business move further and further away from you instead of always moving closer and closer to you and causing more responsibility and stress on you. Okay. If anybody's ever read the book, you could write this one down as something to add to your list. It's called The E-Myth Revisited, as in the letter E-myth Revisited. And the book talks about what the difference is between owning a business and owning a job. That's the whole premise of the book. A lot of people think of the entrepreneur who, or the person who just on the side makes really amazing pies, and she's the person who's bringing pies to every party or whatever, and people are like, these are the best pies I've ever had in my life. They're amazing. You should totally start a bakery because you're such an amazing baker, blah, blah, blah. So she goes out and she finds a retail space and she puts ovens in and she spends $60,000 creating the space and the bakery and everything, and then she bakes all the pies, and then she realizes, oh, I also have to now be an accountant, and I have to be a floor sweeper, and I have to be all these different things. So then she tries to hire people to do that, but she doesn't want to give away the baking because that's her thing. What that person actually owns is a job. You own your job, which is in many cases better than just working for somebody, at least for some people. But in many cases, it's worse because you're like trapped. You can't just check out and go home and leave it for everybody else that actually owns the business. So the book talks about the difference between that and, say, like Ray Kroc and McDonald's, who started McDonald's and he franchised it. And he doesn't run any of those McDonald's. He doesn't check in at 5 o'clock in the morning and stand behind the counter and take money at McDonald's. He franchised that out and he made a business out of it rather than owning the job. And it's the same thing with us. Like if everything is reliant on you in your business as you go down the line, then you're not going to be able to have it run away from you and create that kind of an income for you. You're just always going to be relying on yourself. So you have to help your downline do stuff. Now, one of the reasons why I say that is because that's one of the things that we're really concentrating on more on this team right now. Our webinar that we're going to have at 5:30 is one of the prime examples of something that's super, super duplicatable for your team. So if you bring 5 people onto that webinar tonight, 2 of them sign up as a coach, how easy is it for you to show them how to invite to the webinar to bring 5 people on it so that they sign up 2 people? And then if those 2 people come on, if they liked the information enough to sign up, how easy is it for them to say, I'm going to invite 5 people and 2 of them are going to sign up? It's such an easy duplicatable system that doesn't rely on you specifically being the one always bringing people in. Okay, so we get people in front of a good presenter. I've been presenting this stuff for a long time now. And then we can also bring other people in to present, like I'm bringing in Taylor, right? And we can, as a team, have tools that allow people to bring this down to your downlines and create leaders out of your downline so that you can create duplication and volume in your downline. Okay, so duplication is one of the biggest things of it. But the reason I brought up volume and downline is because as your team grows, more and more and more of your check is going to come from volume rather than from retail commissions. If I could show you, I wish I had taken the time over the last 5 years to map out how much I could still go back and do it. It would just be a little bit time consuming, but to map out how much of my income percentage-wise came from retail commission and how much came from team volume cycle bonuses over the years and what the percentage was. Because when I started, I was a high retailer. I've always been a high retailer, meaning that I'll put up I think my volume right now is somewhere around 500 PV in my first business center, 200 or 300 in my second business center, and in my wife's business center is another 200 to 400, somewhere in that range. So I'm putting up well over 1,000 PV every week. Yet now 90% of my check still comes from cycle bonus. So when I first started and I was putting up 800 to 1,000 PV all in one business center before I even signed up my wife, most of my check is coming from that because I don't have a big team, right? So let's say I'm making $350 a week just from commissions because I'm putting out, a ton of sales, but I'm making $50 to $100 in cycle bonus because I'm an Emerald coach. Then as I grow the team and I grow the team and I grow the team, that $300 to $350 a week from retail commissions, it pretty much has stayed level, maybe grown just a little bit as I grow a larger base of Shakeology customers, right? It's growing just a tiny bit, 200, 250, 300, 350, but it always stays in that 300 to 500 range. It never grows past that. But the volume cycle bonuses grow from 150 to 200 to 250 to where I'm making a couple $1,000s a week just in cycle bonus from the size of the team that I have. Okay. So that's what your goal should be. If you really want to make the money, it's from bringing people in. So you make the retail sales, right? And then those people become coaches and you grow a team. But then the key is that you have to duplicate what you're doing to grow that team down to the next level, okay? So I'm trying to do that better now by creating tools that we all can use to recruit and that we all can use to bring people into challenge groups. So the next thing that we're gonna do besides these webinars that we're doing, that we're about 13 minutes away from right now for business opportunity, is on the opposite Thursdays, we're now going to have 90-10 nutrition webinars. So we're going to come on Thursday nights at 5:30 p.m. on the opposite weeks, starting next week, with 90-10 nutrition webinars, and we'll tell the story of how 90-10 started, what it's like, how it works, and you can bring people into the 90-10 system, and they'll get a view of what Shakeology is about so that you can follow up with them on that. And they can still join for free, but they'll understand more about Shakeology after the webinar is over. If we have those kind of tools, we just need to create a system, and you need to duplicate that system down to your downline, where there's a couple of things that people invite to. Their events, you can use the recorded versions or you can use the live versions depending on what time of the week it is and what exactly you need to give that person. So if we can really grab onto that as a team and bring that down to the downline, you will see your volume increase from your downline coaches starting to actually make sales. And then they'll start signing up coaches who will start making sales. And they'll start signing up coaches who will start making sales. And that volume will grow and grow. And that's where you'll see your check go from 90% retail commission and 0 or 10% cycle volume to 70-30 to 50-50 to 60-40 to the 90-10, the opposite way, where you're starting to make some serious money off of team volume. And the cool thing about that is that when your check comes from team volume, when you go to Paris with your wife for a week and a half, it doesn't rely on you making more commission sales. You can take the week kind of off. The cool thing is with my business is I don't ever feel like I really need to take a week off, like I'm not even going to touch anything. But my income doesn't rely on that I need to make 5 challenge pack sales this week or my check's going to suck, right? It doesn't rely on that. If I don't make any challenge pack sales this week, I'm down $100 to $200 out of a $2,500 or $3,000 check, not down 90% of my check. Okay, so it's huge that you start building that team volume and bringing in those people. But the key to it all is absolutely 100% duplication. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do with these webinars and these tools. I want everybody to understand that with the webinars and tools, that the point is not for that you guys can't innovate, you can't create new things. Like Brooke just posted today, Brooke Brown just posted she's going to do this 5-day group. It's going to be like picnic plank something challenge. It sounds like a great idea. It sounds like something that could get people really interested in Shakeology. You guys go for those things, but we need to have a simple system that's regular, where there's always something that people can invite to, and it's a simple process to invite to it. It's not this long, complicated thing that only works for you, if that makes sense. So always be thinking about duplication when you're thinking about how to make money with the business. Let's ask some questions. Anybody got questions for this? I know that this is kind of a broad topic and not like a here, do this exact thing, but it almost is in this case. Like, what I want you really to concentrate on for the next 6 months while we build this system is inviting to these webinars and getting people on them, so that you can show those people how to invite people to the webinars. Like, if you're doing it and you're being successful and you add coaches through it and you add challengers to 90-10, then it's going to be really easy to show someone else. All I do is I go invite these people. Here's how I invite them. And then they show up to the webinar, and then I follow up with them. And it's that simple. And the people who come in through the webinars, like the people who sign up through the webinar, they're going to be like, this is no problem. I can do that, because that's the webinar that I watched to sign up. That's the webinar I watched to become part of that challenge, right? So, questions from anybody real quick before we head over to the webinar? Nobody? Becky, nothing? Felicia, nothing?
Nope, I think I'm good.
Okay, cool. Gabe, anything from you? No? Okay, cool. Well, good night, guys. I'll head over to the webinar, and we'll start in about 9 minutes, and it's going to be a good one. I talked to Taylor earlier today, and it's going to be a good one. I think there's going to be a lot of people excited, and we're going to do a little thing at the end. I'll let you guys in on this. We're going to do a little thing where we're going to offer a new coach call on Saturday night for anyone who signs up between now and Saturday night. So we'll have kind of a little closing deal there where it'll kind of encourage people to get signed up and not go, oh, I think that was good, but I think I'll wait until like next week and see what happens, or something. Like, a lot of people just, once the webinar ends, the excitement ends. So we're going to tell them, hey, you're going to get on a Zoom call, get a getting started right call with me and at least one other Diamond coach. So cool.
Woo.
Talk to you.